I am Linda Deir, and this guy right here.
This guy's Ray Hawley, the magnificent manager of Marketing Mojo. So I've been called.
You are great, Ray. What would we do without Ray? I mean the guides, I mean our whole operation here, the team. Okay, you guys all have a team. Even if you don't realize you do, you all have a team. You are never alone and always being guided. We love being here with you on Tuesdays. So we hope that you guys have your comments and questions ready to fire away, all right? I'm going to get started with this. Each week in Linda's weekly guided insights, I ask my spirit guides, what's the most important thing for you to know right now? We channel these insights using Ask the Universal Channel, the same way your spirit guides and angels interact with you in a live coaching session with me. You can find the link to my coaching sessions in the description of this video. Tonight, the spirit guides will be talking about expectations will fog your vision in 2020. This was published today in Linda's weekly guided insights. Using the search term Linda Deir, you can join us on my Facebook page, my Facebook timeline, and my YouTube channel. And like always, Ray will be monitoring the feed for your questions and comments. So let me know what's on your mind regarding tonight's insight from any one of these platforms.
Just a note here, right here where you're at, unable to stream to YouTube tonight, only to Facebook.
Okay, Facebook. Oh, okay, it looks like YouTube is not interacting with our streaming software. So we are just on Facebook tonight. All right, I will publish this onto YouTube by tomorrow, so you guys can find it for those of you who like to watch these on YouTube. Okay, the name of this insight is Expectations Will Fog Your Vision in 2020. Think back to December 31st, 2019. What was going through your mind? If you were like most people, you were already struggling, unable to keep up. You were telling yourself, thank goodness 2020 is here. By the time you were 2 to 3 months into 2020, you were totally blindsided. Even though we warned you in our webinar that we did December 14th, 2019, entitled 2020, the Spirit Guides Navigate You Through the Volatile Year to Come. They see what we cannot. Okay, even Ray and I can't see this. We channel the guides, they bring through the insights, they bring through what you need to know in these webinars, and it's always timely. So you don't want to miss these webinars. You don't want to miss these insights. But like most people, you didn't want to hear about the possibility that 2020 would be much more volatile than 2019 was. Almost half the year is gone. So how do you see it being different over the next 6 months? So how do you see your life being different from July through the end of the year, as opposed to what you've been through already? All right. So Ray, what do you have? Ray always does research on this stuff from a left brain standpoint. Okay, from a left brain standpoint.
Well, myself, like everybody else out there, could not have ever seen this coming.
Yeah,
on January 1st, they warned us we'd have to become a new you.
Right.
This is the year of the new you.
That your mantra would be, let me remember.
Out with the old you, in with the new you.
Yeah.
But they didn't come right out and say, well, there's going to be a serious virus striking early in the year.
They talked about how you would manage you.
Right.
How it would change you.
Right.
They don't worry. The guides, they're not concerned about the outer world. They're concerned about how the outer world affects your inner world. All right.
So 2 things. I think people are disappointed about how it started.
What's happened?
You
mean this year?
This year, because they had those great expectations, like you said.
Those resolutions.
Yeah, December 31st every year. Well, thank goodness next year's going to be better. So they're disappointed that it wasn't better. And now, 6 months into it, I think they're very, very cautious about the rest of the year, but the next 6 months.
Well, most of all, people are concerned about being lied to. You guys don't know if this, an election year, you don't know if this is just designed to push one party out to get another one in. You don't know if you're being used like a pawn in a game, being played with, where they're making things up to make your life hard. You don't know what to believe. That's really what it comes down to. So what do we have, Ray?
Oh, Kathy's with us, Holly Pham, and Linda Schwartz so far.
Great, you guys.
Says there's a lot more, but I haven't seen them come up yet.
Okay, go ahead, Ray. What else do we have? If you guys have questions or comments about tonight,
about expectations.
Regarding expectations will fog your vision in 2020. Now that you see, you're halfway through the year, you can see through the fog somewhat. Okay, but the expectations will pull you back down into that fog, just like it pulled you in at the beginning of the year with your resolutions and what you expected. Okay, go ahead, Ray.
Yeah, it seems that expectations, whether they're positive or negative, are the root of the problem.
Right.
William Shakespeare said, you've heard of him, right? Famous writer?
I think we've heard of him.
Okay. Expectation is the root of all heartache.
We set ourselves up.
Yeah.
If we take the time, the 15 minutes a day, to write down not our expectations, but what we're sensing, what we're feeling, okay, in spite of what we want or what seems to be going on out there or things we're suspicious of, let that stuff go, you guys. That's really not the point. The point is letting yourself be open and present long enough to receive the guidance clear and true, okay, where it's pointing you true north, where you're not kidding yourself. You're not just making stuff up. It's not coming from you, it's coming through you, all right? Yeah. Expectations get in the way of that.
Yeah, some people have negative expectations and they tell themselves, see, I knew it. But most people have positive expectations.
Either way. Expectations set you up for one thing.
Regrets.
Disappointment.
Yeah, disappointment.
It disappoints you. If you expect something, you're just better off being open and connected and present and just let what is come through, all right? And let the expectations are fun. There's something we kind of play with. Beginning of this year, expectations, resolutions.
Every year.
Okay, that's kind of an expectation. In fact, that's a pretty massive expectation. So it's just keeping our eye on ourselves and not go out on the limb with expectations. It's like gambling. You go in and you go, I'm going to put down $100 and I'm going to see if I get lucky. All right. That's an expectation. If you didn't expect to get lucky, you wouldn't just throw $100 away. So you still expect to get lucky.
Yeah, and I read a couple articles that kind of said the same thing. Expectations always seem to be about others or the outside world. People are always having expectations.
That's good.
About other people, their family, their loved ones, their job, the people at work, or the outside world. They have expectations the outside world is going to change. Well, everything will change when we have a different president, or everything will change once summer gets here. It's always on the outside. It's never about themselves. It's never expectations about themselves.
Think about that, you guys. And when the guides work with you, when you get this guidance and you're present and it comes through, they don't have any expectations about you. They just bring through the truth as it is, pure and clear. They just bring it through and show it to you. And you make the choice to move on it or not. They don't expect you to do anything. They just give you the guidance. They always send out the guidance. It's always there for you to receive it, unless you're consumed with expectations and you're like holding your breath. You're not present when you're doing that. You're anticipating something. But they never expect anything from you. They just give you the option. There it is. There it is on your path. And there you can move that way or not. That's always your free will. So they're never loaded down with expectations for you. But you might be for them.
Yeah, you don't expect a whole lot out of yourself. That's kind of what the article said. You expect things a lot out of other people.
So what you're doing is you're passing off the responsibility for other people to make you happy. Right. And of course, they're going to you will be disappointed most of the time. All right.
Another article I read said that expectations are a sign of control. You're trying to control the future. And you're trying to mold the world into what you want it to be. You're trying to, the other article said, people that make expectations are trying to influence reality.
Influence reality with expectations. Okay, come over here. Let's have that. I like that. All right. So every time something like that comes up, I want the higher power to speak to us. All right. Say that again, Ray.
People have expectations trying to mold the world into what they want it to be, trying to influence reality.
Influence reality. Talk to us about that.
Since the future has been planned long ago, it's futile to think you can influence it or mold it in any way other than how it's planned to go. This inability to accept the future when it happens is a sign of not only disappointment when it happens, but the disappointment morphs into depression.
Okay, we don't want that to happen. So regarding the way things are in the world right now, since this great big, I'm going to call it a reset button. This is a reset button, you guys. We're right in the middle of it. We're right in the flow of it, in the role of it now. Okay, as it's playing out, very different from any other time in our lives. That's what's so interesting about this. So regarding expectations, moving forward, you're right.
Moving forward with expectations, we would recommend being conservative with how much influence you think you have over the future that's coming. Nothing you could have expected would have changed the pandemic or the collapse of economies around the world or the shutdown of all the businesses. In fact, it was inconceivable to you if someone told you that would happen. You would have called them crazy. Nothing like that has ever happened before in your lifetime. Now, you must be careful not to get depressed about the past. What's happened? It's nothing to be ashamed of. It's nothing to have regrets about. That is, unless you were overextended in your expectations.
Okay, So where, I'm going to just say this, where are people overextended in their expectations going forward in regarding where things are going, where they're heading?
The events of the first several months of 2020 exposed all the areas where people were overextended. They don't have enough money to survive. They didn't have enough food to eat. They didn't have a plan for survival. Most people only had enough food for a couple days. Their gas tank was empty almost. The failure to plan ahead for the opposite of your expectations will take you down every time.
Okay, so that's what needs to be done. It's not, I remember years and years ago, I really thought all this was going to happen. I'm going to say 20 years ago, I really thought it was going to happen a long time ago. The guys kept saying, nah, just keep moving the way we're pointing you to go. Just keep doing all the things that are building the project. Just keep doing it. Don't worry about it. Just, we need you in the right position when things happen. And Ray and I. So, including meeting Ray. I mean, the whole thing is just, when I look back at it, even when it was happening, I'm going, ooh, something's going on here. Something is coming together all of a sudden. Where I tried to bring it together before, and it didn't happen. And it didn't happen. And it didn't happen. When it happened, it just fell into place without any effort at all. So, as much as this whole thing going on in the world seems disjointed and dysfunctional and broken, it was never meant to work, you guys. You heard me talk to you about this in other insights on Tuesday. It was never meant to work. None of this was. So to invest everything you have in something that was never meant to work, to put everything you've got into that one focused direction, depending on how that's what they mean by being overextended, over betting, over investing, over expecting. That whole thing to hold up when it wasn't holding up. You could look at people suffering. Too many people were losing at it. There's no way that works.
Just trying to keep up. They were losing. We saw an article, what was it, about a week ago about home sales in Arizona. 47% of people who own a home are thinking about selling it because they can't make the mortgage soon.
Say that again?
47% of homeowners in Arizona are thinking about selling their home because they've sold everything else already to try to make the mortgage payments, and they can't anymore. That's the guy said. That's the extent.
That's a red flag. That's a sign. That's another sign. It's not like it's going to happen today, right now. But it's underway. But the pressure's on. Something's going to happen. Okay, that's going to pull the carpet out from underneath that asset, the home. Okay, so there's stuff going on. It's just one thing after another that are going on, and then there's all the fighting back that's going on. Okay, people have moved to a new level because they've been struggling for a decade and more from what happened the last time, and they didn't get bailed out. The corporations got bailed out. The big guys got bailed out. You didn't get bailed out. You got, in fact, you're the one that got stuck holding the bag.
Yeah, you paid for their bailout.
And the middle class gets stuck with this stuff, and then it's a tough road. And you keep getting deceived, really. You keep getting lied to. You keep getting drawn into it. Because how do you do this? What the heck else are you supposed to do to get by, all right? So it's like there's nothing else going on, so you may as well just buy that house and do that, do the stuff that you used to do, thinking, well, maybe it'll, but even as you move into it, you feel uneasy, this doesn't feel like it's going to hold up much longer. Doesn't feel right, but you do it because you don't know what else to do. All right. So what you have to do is you really have to check in with yourself and be straight with yourself. When you get information from guidance, don't reject it. Don't go, oh, it doesn't fit my expectations. That would mean it's not convenient right now. It doesn't fit my expectations. That means I've got to make a lot of changes because of what they're pointing out to me, what they're showing me. They don't tell you to do anything. They don't teach you anything, but they show it to you. Okay, you have a dream. You get out of the shower. You have a moment where you catch it. All right, you're doing something. You're writing, and it just shows up in your writing, and you go, "Oh my God, I didn't want that to be true." But you know what? This is the world. We all chose to be here to live this out our way. So you got to figure out what that is. Again, that insight from last year about the volatile year to come that they did on December 14th. The volatile year to come, helping you navigate that. And it was all about you being you, not some shadow of you, not pretending to be you, not the you that everybody expects you to be. But I mean, it's time to really flesh out who you are and be true to that. And that's where the only expectation you have is on yourself. Okay? You expect yourself to perform on it. What's going to happen? You don't know, because you're moving with the guidance. You're on the wave. You're flowing with the guidance, and you're in the present moment. You don't know. You can't figure out what's going to happen from moment to moment. It depends on how well you know who that is, so you can trust who that is and go with the flow, you guys. It's going to feel awkward for you, for those of you who haven't been accustomed to moving with guidance, being guided. You are all guided. You just haven't stepped into it, willingly stepped into it and flowed with it. That's the only thing that's going to work going forward, because everything else, it wasn't designed to hold up. In fact, we're the oldest republic
ever
that has
lasted the longest.
Lasted this long. It was a miracle. It wasn't even expected to last this long.
Right.
All right. Before these things go down, and then we're reborn, so to speak. The republic and the way things are done, and all the rules and everything changes. Okay. People change. So that's where we're at, you guys. We're at a tipping point. So if you've got expectations, it's based on your past, and that's over. That it's like 2020 drew a line, and that's it. Okay.
Yeah, these expectations, these articles I read talked about your expectations that you had about your past become all the regrets that you carry with you in the future.
That's the downside.
The shame and sorrow you carry with you.
That's what needs to be healed.
And the depression. Depression was huge. Sylvia Plath, the poet, the famous poet and author, she was depressed all her life. She's the one that stuck her head in the oven and killed herself.
Oh, wow.
And not only that, but a lot of people in her family all killed themselves.
Oh, wow.
So there was a whole series of depression. She even wrote about it. She wrote about a book about a young girl working for a magazine who had all this depression to deal with. That was her when she was working for a magazine. And
so she was talking about her.
She was talking about herself.
Right.
She said, expectation is the mother of disappointment.
There it is. It totally is. So you guys need to get your expectations under control, especially now, because we are living proof. We are living in it, where anything you expected is not going to work out like you think. Let it go and write about it. Write about it in your journal, like I tell you guys to do. In the journal writing part of the curriculum, and write in there about what, if you're fighting with the if it's working you and you can't seem to stop doing it, write in your journal about how you're defeating yourself, how you keep doing this, why you keep doing this. As soon as you see why you keep doing it, you'll have, and you write it down. You write it down in your journal writing, part 3, journal writing. You write it down in your journal writing, and you have it on the pages so you can refer back to it. Now you've got the best chance of overcoming old pattern of expecting things. Expectations, remember what Ray said in his research, it has to do what you expect from out there. It's going to give you something that's going to come to you, not something that's coming from you or through you. Okay, that puts you out of control. You don't have control over that.
Yeah, it gets back to what they said, that you're making two mistakes. Number one, you're trying to control the future, and you're making decisions based on your expectations of the future.
Right. That would be, if you were to, let me use something as an example of that, an investment. You buy a house, you expect a return on your investment, or you never would have bought it. You don't think of your home as something where it's just your home. Even if it loses money, you can't afford to lose money. You can hardly make it now. So you'd like to think that your home could be your home and you don't have any expectations around it, but you do.
You had an expectation when you bought it, and you think back decades from when we were young. You bought a house, it appreciated so much. What, 10% a year?
Our parents didn't have expectations. They looked at the house like a home where they raised their family.
Right.
Okay, where they had control over their little plot of land and their house, where nobody could tell them what to do. That's before HOAs. Okay, everything changed. Everything when we became adults, and everything changed. Everyone controlled everything. Okay, and it took the expectations that you had and watered them down. It disappointed you time and time again. Another recession, another real estate crash, another this or that. You were waylaid. Here you have this whole plan. You own 10 houses. You've got this retirement plan, and the markets move against you. Oh my God! At least in the stock market, you're liquid enough where you could bail out, take your losses, and get the heck out of there. But your real estate is not liquid. So these are expectations that are unrealistic. Okay, I mean they're nothing more than a big crapshoot.
Right.
You hope you get in. You hope you're the lucky one. You get in and out at just the right time. By the way, that's what my guides pointed me throughout my life. Get in, Linda. Get out. Start the internet up in the first ISP up in Sedona and the northern Arizona. That we were the first ones. And when to get out. And I got the businesses sold like a year and a half before the .com went .gone. And got out because I was guided to get in and get out. In real estate, I was guided to get in and get out. And now, honestly, we've been guided just to stay out. Okay, Ray used to be a day trader in the stock market. He was phenomenal. He managed a multi-million-dollar account, and he did really well at it. Very rarely did he have something go against him. But then everything changed, and what's it called? Hyper trading or
nano trading, nanoseconds. Handles in nanoseconds.
Everything changed. It's not the same world at all. Ray got out. Okay, he realized that whole thing, what he expected it to do, was unrealistic. You couldn't expect anything. So we're living in a time, you guys, where we are going to see things change so much and break down and no longer exist. You'd be better off. You are way better off now, especially now, to be tuned in to your guidance. Write down what you're getting to become conscious of what's going on with you and remain conscious. That's the key going forward. When the guide said in our event, our webinar that we did December 14th of 2019 about the volatility in 2020, and it's all about you being who you are, really being who you are. When you are really who you are, this is how you're going to find out if you're really who you are, or if you're just playing more games, okay? And you're playing in that expectation pool where you're just asking for it. You're just asking for it more now than ever before. So that's why you need to start becoming. You need to write in your journal about what's going on with you for 15 minutes each day, so you can see things like where your expectations are are playing out in your life and where you need to know, write it down so that you catch yourself before you fall into it. All right?
Okay, so the problem with people making expectations is that they are trying to control the future and they make decisions based on those expectations they made. What's the difference between expectations and hope? Now, hope can't be bad.
Well, hope, okay, hope tricks you too, especially when it's backed by expectations, okay? You're not being honest with yourself. You're not being clean. You've got expectations on it, okay? You hope. What you're hoping is not pure. It's not present, and you're not open. Okay, it's hard to do this because your whole life up to now has been, you've depended on having expectations. Let's talk about a business plan. You start a business. Everyone tells you, oh, you need a business plan before you start. That's an expectation. That's the way we always did things, right? Not me. I just want you to know that I haven't done it that way. I'm way out of the box. And if you go to college, they show you how to build a business plan. This is what you do. This is how you do it. You must do it this way. When you go to the bank, if you don't have a business plan, you can't even get a loan to build your business. All right. You've got to personally guarantee it by getting a loan on your home to fund that business, because no bank's going to take a risk on you, especially if you show them a business plan and it doesn't jibe with what's going on in the world right now, which is the case. Okay, so none of this stuff that we built our lives on makes sense anymore. You guys need to cut out the expectations. You need to backtrack and check yourself and write the stuff down 15 minutes a day so that you start to see what's really happening. Nobody ever taught you how to do this. This works.
Yeah, you write down, you got to walk it back. Write down any expectations you have, and then look at those expectations and look at what decisions have I made based on those expectations
that worked out,
which I hope will come true. Most of them don't. And so, well, it didn't work out as planned. You know, next year's here. Next year's going to be better.
And then you know what happens? Everybody that counts on you, your family, your kids that want to go to college, you know, everybody who's putting pressure on you to perform, they let you know loud and clear that you let them down, that you disappointed them, because you, in your actions, made them have expectations about you. It's a roller coaster, you guys. It's not a good place to position yourself. It's not a plan, okay? Especially now, it's all up for grabs. You don't know what's coming next. What you guys need to do is you need to, brace yourself for any, thing that could happen going forward. We see it. It's here. It's happening. You can't deny it, okay? If you have expectations, you're completely vulnerable. It doesn't work now. So you've got to prepare yourself, like they said, get prepared, and then, be conservative and get to know who you are. Do your inner work. It's time to go in. The stuff that distracted you, that was going on around you, that was always, go here, go there, spend this, buy that, do this, vacations, and everybody's doing all this stuff. You have had, the big pause button has been hit. Okay, it's over. It's time for you guys to do the work, your inner work, to find out what this is really, what it's really telling you, what it's showing you, why it's happening. This is not an accident, and you are here to experience this. So don't worry about, what you thought it was going to be, or whatever you do. Don't fill yourself up with expectations like you used to do.
How about, I'm looking at a direction where a lot of expectations come from that are about you, your family. Your family has a lot of expectations.
Right.
For instance, the boy's getting ready to go to college, and the family says, well, hey, your father's a lawyer. His father was a lawyer. all your older brothers and sisters, they're all lawyers, so we expect you to be a lawyer. But he doesn't want to be a lawyer.
See how the expectations are going to save you from yourself? Who are you and why are you here? You guys, that's what that session was, that webinar was about, December 14th of 2019, just before we entered into 2020. And they talked about the volatile year to come. It had to do with you. It had to do with you learning about you and being true to you. It can only happen here. You've got to write it down. You've got to start tracking your step. This is your roadmap to consciousness right there. Okay, I'm going to announce something. On my website, lindadeir.com, you're going to the navigation bars. You're going to see an extra one in there called training. And I have just built the training module for part 2 of the guided journal writing system and part 3 of the guided journal writing system, part 3. And this is what I do, is I walk you through the consciousness training first, and then I take you through the course corrections in part 2. This is a course that is a month long, and what you do is you write in your journals. I give you the outline right there go check it out for both modules. And the first one I suggest that you take, and it's important that you do, is part 3, my journal writing. And it's the part where I bring you into consciousness. I mean, seriously, into consciousness. You write in your journal what's been going on with you over the last week. You put your journal entries in each day. It might have been a dream. It might have been you were driving somewhere and it just came through. It might have been stepping out of the shower. It might have been pondering that moment where you're just about awake, but then you let yourself go back into that twilight and you connect with what that is. When you sat at your computer and all of a sudden it flooded through. All right, write it in there. And what I do after you've written these things down, and all you do is write down what it is. You don't even bother writing down how it made you feel, what you realized, and what action you're going to take. That's where I come in. I break down what you've written over the last 7 days, and then we find out what it's telling you. Okay? Because I'm good at this. It's like dreams. I interpret dreams. I interpret your life. I see it for what it is. I see the metaphors. I see the symbolism. I see the undertone. I see what's under the hood, not what you're talking about as far as breezing over it. I see it underneath. I see what's really going on, and I pull it all together for you, and then you see how it felt, and then you realize what it meant, so you can take the action. Okay, that's what this is. And I do this for 4 weeks with you, and guess what happens? After 1 month, I've told you all, if you spend 15 minutes a day writing in your journal, at the end of 1 month, you're going to be way ahead. But when you do this with me, you're going to be ready to course correct. And that's part 2. That's my guided journey. You're going to be ready to look into the part that needs the healing, that keeps showing up here. And I just launched those modules. So check it out. It's available now. I'm going to start doing this work.
And it's one-on-one with you every week.
It's
over Zoom.
That's right. That's right. And I talk about, you don't need a guru, you need a guide. Okay. And I'm your guide until you can recognize your own guides. Okay. And you will. You'll see how much they're helping you all the time. All the time.
A lot of the people who are with us on Facebook tonight were with us on Saturday.
Oh, man. Wow.
Yeah.
From the webinar.
From the webinar. We got a lot of feedback from the webinar.
Ray. Okay, let me get into that. Ray's going to, you want to go over that, Ray?
Yeah.
We had somebody from the Netherlands. We're not going to use her name, but because, we don't want anybody to feel shy about when we talk about it. But here's what she had to say about the webinar from Saturday, which was a message from the light beings. The second wave of fear and confusion is coming. She watched it twice.
Right. She said it was a very Powerful webinar with intense messaging. I needed a couple of days just to digest it. The message was clear that the future will be totally different and is already different. Wow. Now, after a few days, I feel that this new normal is an open gate to a lot of good things. Now,
it took her a couple of days to absorb it. That's how intense this webinar was, you guys.
Well, tell her what our reaction was. We don't hear that stuff until...
Read it. I have it in there.
Oh, here it is. Okay.
I replied to her this morning.
Here it is. This work is always amazing to us. Ray and I had the same feeling you did. In fact, we hardly talked for a day. Since, just like you in these webinars, the first time you hear it is the first time we hear it, what the light beings are going to say. After the webinar, to us, it felt like a recalibration. The result is acceptance of the truth, so they can continue to reach us and guide us. Keep up the journey. Yeah, you know, we both had this real somber feeling, like it was a lot to take in. It was a lot that people didn't expect, but once... There you go. But once the guides talked about it, you kind of accept it. I better accept it.
It takes a little while. Okay, so when we do these, I think Kathy got the webinar. I haven't heard from you on it at all on that one, Kathy. But this is getting real. Okay, this is getting real. So you guys need to do the work. You need to do the work that you came here to do so that you are ready for what's next. This isn't just going to happen and then it stops and then you don't know what to do next. No, this is happening so you can start preparing for what your part is going to be in this. That's the whole point with this. Every one of you have an incredible part to play in this, but you have to wake up first. It's called your roadmap to consciousness. And that's what I do. I bring you guys back into consciousness. You cannot miss it. Absolutely cannot miss it when you work with me over the course of a month. I'm going to get you guys right with this. Okay?
Yeah,
this is like getting 3 or 4 half-hour coaching sessions with me. I charge $110 for a half-hour coaching session. This is $440 for the month. Okay, it's an investment in you. That's what this is, an investment that will pay off in ways that no business plan could ever anticipate. Okay?
Yeah.
Each one of these modules is 4 weeks, half hour with me each week, personal one-on-one time with you to see what's going on in your life so you stop missing it.
Yeah, imagine if you had expectations. I get this funny picture of you going to the bank with a business plan, and then them seeing a 20-year-old girl who comes in and says, I want to design and build houses, and I need some money to do it.
I knew it wouldn't work. And Ray's talking about my earlier life, and I talk about it in Guided, and I knew it wouldn't work. But I never worried about the traditional world, the world that had all these rules and expectations. You guys, I never lived by them. I always went by my own rules. I always went by guidance, timing, and how you get around things, how you maneuver things so you can get where you need to go without having to do everything the way they tell you staunchly. It's got to be like this. That's all falling apart. That's not holding up. I'm so glad it's ending. Okay, I know how to take you guys there, all right? I'm good at this.
Speaking of books, and everybody else has expectations about you, like your family, but everybody had expectations about you when you said you would write a book, right?
So what kind of expectations?
Well, what did they tell you? Well, why are you going to write a book? You'll never sell any of them.
Oh, well, that's lack of expectations. Okay, so
no, they had expectations for you.
That I'd fail.
Right.
Right. I did. I had many people tell me, well, when you write a book, it's really,
You have to have a publisher.
here's what happened. I was guided to write this book when they first showed up, okay? And I was guided to write it before that. I talk about that. But in 1994, when they showed up and I took their photograph, and a couple weeks later, they come to me in a dream, and I'm lucid. And I asked them, why did you let me take your photograph this time? I've seen you since I was a baby. They said, you're going to write a best-selling book about your relationship with us since you were a little girl. And we appeared so the world could believe. And of course, they're on the front cover of the book, right where they belong. Okay. I didn't have an expectation. And then when they told me that, I said, well, I don't know how to write a book. I'm not writing a book. What do I know about writing a book?
But what did everybody tell you? Well, you got to go out study. This guy's writing, this person's writing, and you got to read this book about marketing a book.
And guidance came through and told me to do none of that. And I just sat down one day at my computer and started writing about my life. I didn't know that was the book. I didn't even know that was the book until chapter 9. And I went, oh my God, this is the book they told me I was going to write. Oh my God. I never thought it would come out of my life story, my true life story. I never thought it would come out of that. Well, when you look back at it in hindsight, you go, well, of course it did, Linda. Of course, that makes total sense. But because I had no expectation, okay, it flowed through me, all right? And I wrote it in 4.5 months. That's crazy. My first book, that's unheard of.
A 400-page book usually takes 2.5 years.
I know. I mean, all I can tell you is whatever the rules have been, the expectations, the rules, the way things used to be, the way that you designed your life and planned it around the way you were supposed to do it, okay? The way things always worked before isn't going to happen, you guys. It's over. I am so glad it's over. Now, yeah, there's some things about it where we don't know how to plan something or do something. Breathe into it. Find out who you are so you know what your part is in it. Heal your past. Part 2, healing your past. I take you there. We flush out the stuff that's the reasons why not. We get in there and I find it right away. And I get you through it. So it quits doing this to you and holding you back and holding you down, okay? And release you into the life you were meant to live, the person that you are meant to be, who you are, not the person who's been hiding and playing it safe and you know, oh, I'm worried about what they might do to me or say or, you know, anything like that. But you get real straight with yourself and real with your life. You guys, that's what this time is all about. That's why we're at this point, this pivotal point in history. We're at a tipping point. And if it's not one thing, if it's not the coronavirus, it's protest. It's the economy. It's just one thing after Mother Nature. Oh my God!
Oh yeah, she's got a 1, 2, 3 punch coming here.
It's been one thing after the other.
It's dust storms the size of Alaska or bigger than Alaska. Everybody's coming around the world.
Everybody's in on it, Ray.
Hurricane season starting. Earthquakes, tornadoes.
You guys, it's showtime. It's your time. And you just have to see it for what it is and don't fight this thing, okay?
What about these winds?
The what?
The winds.
Can you believe the winds? The winds of change. We have winds in Arizona right now that I have never seen, okay? It's constant. You can hear the wind whistling through all the windows. And our windows are good, but they're strong, these winds. Unlike any other time. If you were in Flagstaff, you'd expect these winds. It's always windy in Flagstaff,
right.
But not down here in Phoenix, not in Glendale, where we are.
It's bending the palm trees over. What's going on?
It's nuts. So I love it, you guys. You know, enjoy the ride. This is about you enjoying your life, not trying to hold back and brace yourself against something you've got no control over and worry and be fearful. Whatever you do, don't do that. This is the merry-go-round. This is chapter 1. We're on that merry-go-round, holding onto that bar single-handedly, riding this thing, having a blast. Come on, bring it on. Okay, that's where we're at. So you're going to see it. You're going to see it building. It's going to be one wave after the other coming down.
It's going to go faster and faster.
It's going to keep going. That merry-go-round kept speeding up. So you guys just need to be, positioned for this. I just finished the module. You guys, check it out. Training. Go check it out. You'll see the 2 modules there.
Yeah, it's. I can hear the wind right now.
Oh, I know. I can too. It's incredible.
It sounds like a plane going over.
This is no accident that you're here at this time in your life. This is what you stuck around for.
Yeah, that's the punchline. You chose to be here.
Yeah.
At this time.
But you did.
Right.
That's right. So don't miss the ride, the merry-go-round. All right. Okay. We don't see much activity there, but I guess you guys just are enjoying the entertainment. Okay.
One person said, I just got goosebumps.
Yeah, this is it, you guys. You're in it. Okay, but you're not in it alone. What's it say at the top of my website? You have help. You are never alone and always being guided. So you know what to do and when to do it, just like I do. Okay? It's simple as that. But you got to find out who that is. Who is that? Who are you? And what is it you intended to do? Don't miss it, okay? This is how you do it, and I'm here to help you with that. Okay, step it up. Okay, so I'm going to, before the guides close tonight's session, I'm going to talk about a few things, a few announcements. Join me July 7th. I will be streaming live on Facebook and my YouTube channel, I hope. It's the stream. Sometimes the streaming software messes up on you, but I'll get it up there. I'll get this one up on YouTube by tomorrow, so you guys can all find it there, okay? Use the search term, Linda Deir. This will be a Q&A and commentary for next Tuesday's Insight, published in Linda's Weekly Guided Insights with me, Ray, and my spirit guides at 6 p.m. Pacific time. In Linda's Weekly Guided Insights, my spirit guides will be talking about the global pause button is meant to free you. After a few months on pause, people now miss the old distractions, the shopping, watching sporting events, going to the bars, the movie theaters, going to concerts and weekend events, vacations, flying everywhere on a whim, and doing whatever you want, whenever you want. We see this pause as a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. It's your opportunity to reflect or complain. People no longer have the luxury of making more bad choices. Their time is running out. Their time to realize who they are and why they are here has arrived. Okay?
I like that.
So, by the way, if you're not getting Linda's Weekly Guided Insights, you can find the link to sign up. It's free. It's delivered to your email box every Tuesday. And just look for
we talk about on Tuesday nights.
That's what this is, yes. And you look for the description in the video to sign up if you're not signed up. So get the replay of our webinar from last Saturday, June 27th, entitled A Message from the Light Beings. The second wave of fear and confusion is coming, with Linda Deir, Ray Hawley, and the light beings. Find out how to put the fear and confusion into perspective as these light beings inform you about the second wave. Look for the link to this webinar in the description of this video. And this Saturday, okay, July 4th. I mean, what else are you going to be doing, huh?
Messing around with firecrackers.
Yeah, blowing your hands up.
Blowing your fingers off.
Okay. This Saturday, July 4th at 1 p.m. Pacific time, I will be reading from chapter 11 of Guided. I read those every Saturday at 1 p.m. except for the last Saturday of the month, because that's when we do these webinars. These webinars are covert. The guides do not talk in open platforms about what they tell you in these webinars, so you can prepare, so you can be ready, so you can step up your game and know the direction you need to take and the stuff you need to get out of your life right now so you don't get clobbered. All right? That's what they're about. So if you haven't gotten the webinar, get it. It's only $29, you guys. An investment in you, okay? And that's what the Netherlands talked about tonight, was how she experienced it. And my reply to her was absolutely how Ray and I felt. It's the first time we hear what they're going to talk to you about in these webinars when we channel it. It's the first time. And this was really powerful, all right? And it's moving us through it, you guys. I'm so grateful for this, okay?
You know, people are, we do, most of the things we do are for free. And they have been for free for
like on Tuesdays,
10
like
years
today,
or more.
like now.
And some people who could afford it would get coaching sessions when they could get them now.
Right.
But now that the situation's changed, a lot of people can't do that anymore. But a good way to support us would be to come to the webinar once a month.
Yeah, once a month, and then you've got a sense of of how to calibrate yourself. I mean, I'm serious. When this happened on Saturday, Ray and I had a real somber day.
For 2 days almost.
Yeah, and we were just recalibrating to the thing, and then we sat down and talked with each other about what it was, and how what that really was. So they're moving us through it, you guys. This is going on. It's going down right now. By the way, before we close the session, if my work, my books, Tuesdays, Linda's Weekly Guided Insights, the webinars, the coaching, the training, I do so many things, but everybody has helped you in any way, tell your friends. They need this more than ever now, all right? They won't think you're crazy now. Now they're going to go, thank you for sharing that with us, so we get a sense of what we need to do, because we didn't know what to do, that they don't know what to do, right? I feel a lot more breathing going on. You guys have to breathe more. Breathe. Let yourself breathe. And if you have to do something like walk briskly or ride a bike or something, get yourself breathing. You need to breathe, okay? Yeah. So the guides are going to close the message about tonight's insight. Expectations will fog your vision in 2020. And here they go.
If expectations are the root of all disappointment and heartache, then why continue the way you have in the past? The expectations are bad enough, but making important life decisions based on expectations is like trying to guess the weather or the stock market. It will fool you every time. The only thing to expect is that you will be able to accept and adapt to anything that happens, including a world that looks nothing like anything you've experienced in the past.
That's where it's going. You guys need to recalibrate. You need to be prepared for this. You need to be aligned with this so that you can receive the guidance that will never fail you. Has never failed me.
And the guides at the end of the last part of the webinar Saturday gave people a pretty long list of things that they need to have.
They did.
To prepare for what's coming the rest of the year.
Yeah, they see it, you guys. They see it because we can't. We can't see it because we're in it. Right. I can't see it when I'm in it.
Can't see your way out of the forest when you're standing in the middle of the forest.
You guys, and you're getting the guidance all the time, but you're missing it.
Yeah.
I'm going to help you with that. It's about making an investment in yourself so you can finally reach the point where you have this connection, this ability to be present, not let all this outside interference, influence, distraction control you. No more, no more. Not once you know who you are, not once you really know who you are and who it was who first came here, that retreated so long ago because this world was so harsh. It had no choice but to leave the scene. Okay? We're bringing that part back. When I do this training with you, that part comes back along with where you are in this world. And then you integrate that. And then you've got the capacity to move through this beautifully and live the life you intended. Do what you came here to do. Accomplish that in this lifetime. This could be the one lifetime that you actually pull it off.
That's right. Do it right, you won't have to come back and do it again.
Right. Oh, who knows? I don't guarantee you any of that. But all I know is this is a process that we go through. We come here for a reason, on purpose, for our purpose. And that's where I take you.
You chose to be here, make the best of it.
Yeah. To live it. That's the true dream. That's the dream you don't want to miss. Okay, you guys, we'll see you Saturday, maybe. Chapter 11 of Guided. See you next Tuesday.
Just like having somebody read you a bedtime story. People love it.
That's what I do. You guys.
Okay. Good night, everybody. Be kind. Oh, and they don't have to wear a mask either when they come to listen to you.
That's right.
That's right. Or the training. They don't have to wear a mask on Zoom.
See that, you guys.
See? We're a mask-free zone here.
And you're doing the work that matters, not the stuff that's out there, but the stuff that's finally your time to do it here. All right.
All right. Good night, everybody.
Good night.